On Abbott Elementary Season 1 Episode 12, Janine heads to Mrs. Davis's classroom to pick her students up from music class. They refuse to stop playing Amazing Grace on the recorder until Mrs. Davis tells them to stop, and Mr. Johnson sings about how he once was lost while cleaning the hallway outside. Late to the teacher's lounge because her students love Mrs. Davis, Janine is warned by Barbara that classes like music will be the first to go after the school loses its discretionary funds. Today is the school board meeting where Ava has to present, and everyone is sure she'll fail. Gregory is positive Ava will lose her job at the end of the week, and Barbara and Melissa agree, but Janine is determined to help Ava pass so that the school can keep its funding. She decides to help Ava herself. In the principal's office, Janine signs an NDA so that Ava will show her the presentation she's put together. The next morning, Ava gives her a sample of the presentation, where she has 2 rolling iPads with her face on them helping her. Ava and her robot assistants give a short and ridiculous presentation, which claims Abbott Elementary should get the funds because of how great Ava is. Janine shoots it down, and Ava gets vulnerable about not wanting to lose the only job she's ever liked in her life. Janine realizes that they need someone with a better understanding of what a principal should know, and she recruits a reluctant Gregory to help out. He agrees as long as Ava doesn't refer to him as a food item for the duration of their work together. Ava is positive that the superintendent will be throwing her curveball questions, and doesn't do well during prep with Gregory and Janine. Gregory wonders if the school would be better off if Ava just failed, but Janine suggests they join Ava during her presentation to answer some of the harder questions. At the school board meeting on Friday, Superintendent Collins spots Gregory waiting in the hallway. He apologizes for not being able to give Gregory the job and hints that the position may be opening up at Abbott. He gives Gregory his email and tells him to get in touch if he's still interested. For the last 10 years, Barbara has applied for money from the school board for her classroom and gotten denied. She's hopeful the money will come this year, but Melissa thinks they should do some arm twisting to make sure the money comes her way. Barbara agrees at first, but when Melissa tells her about a shady woman on the school board they might be able to blackmail, Barbara claims she doesn't want to get down and dirty. Instead, she tells Melissa she'll leave the dirty work to someone like her, hurting Melissa's feelings. The next day, Melissa repossessed the rug in Barbara's classroom, claiming she's sure Barbara doesn't want a rug from a mud person. At lunch in the teacher's lounge, Jacob tries to mediate between them, but Barbara doesn't want to compromise her morals, and Melissa is angry. Later in the school garden, Barbara accidentally throws dirt all over Jacob while angry gardening. She admits that she's nervous about doing something so out of character, and Jacob reminds her that it was out of character for her to start the garden with him, and now they both love it. At the school board meeting, Barbara manages to catch up with the shady woman from the school board, who also goes to her church. Using her trademark attitude and sweetness, Barbara kindly lets the woman know she's aware that she's been skimming off the top of the church funds. Meanwhile, Janine and Gregory have prepped Ava as best they can and are ready to help her ace the presentation. Suddenly, Superintendent Collins tells Ava that she has to do the presentation alone, without any help. While Janine, Jacob, Barbara, and Melissa try to listen to the meeting through the door, Gregory steps into the hallway to send an email. He's interrupted by Janine, who thanks him for helping Ava even though the job should have been his. Gregory admits that it's a lot easier to say yes to things when she is the one asking. Inside the school board meeting chamber, Ava fails almost all of the hard questions that Superintendent Collins throws at her. However, before he can rush her out of a job, Ava gives a passionate speech about the teachers and students at Abbott Elementary. Ava claims that even if she loses her job, the students at Abbott will be fine since they have some of the finest teachers in Philly. She even admits that while she may not deserve the discretionary funds, the school certainly does. When the meeting ends, Superintendent Collins announces that somehow Ava has kept her job. However, as long as she's in charge and he's the superintendent, he'll never give Abbott the discretionary funds they deserve since she did blackmail him. On the way out of the meeting, Barbara is approached by the shady woman on the school board.